think you know someone until the truth hits you like a storm you never saw coming. That thought alone sent a shiver down my spine, a pain I could never hide from myself. I had been married for 10 years. 10 years filled with laughter, late night conversations, small victories, and routines that felt comforting, almost sacred. Together, we had built a life that seemed untouchable, a world of quiet stability that friends envied and often admired. I believed I knew him. I trusted him. My heart told me that our love would last forever. But life has a way of revealing what we are least prepared for, and betrayal doesn't always scream. It sneaks in quietly, hiding in small gestures, in smiles that don't reach the eyes, in laughter shared with someone else, in messages we are never meant to see. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but I believed in it. Our small arguments always ended with hugs and apologies. Friends called us a stable couple, and I wanted to believe them. Yet, for the first time, I felt a subtle shift, a tiny crack in the foundation I had trusted so completely. Late arrivals, secretive laughter at his phone, unspoken messages, all insignificant at first, but slowly, patterns began to emerge. Every little act stirred a growing wave of unease inside me, but I chose silence for the sake of our peace, convincing myself I might be overthinking. Little did I know, this was only the beginning, the opening act of the biggest challenge I had ever faced. One evening, with the soft hum of the TV in the background, I asked him gently, "Are you happy?" I saw a flicker of hesitation in his eyes, followed by a rushed, too quick yes, and in that instant, I felt a chill run through me. That simple word revealed more than any argument could have. I didn't scream, I didn't confront him. I simply observed. I realized then that when betrayal is deliberate, patience becomes your most powerful weapon. That night, I learned to control my emotions, to turn fear and hurt into calm observation. Slowly, I began to note every detail, each gesture, every careless laugh, every tiny lie. I began collecting the puzzle pieces that would one day reveal the truth. In the weeks that followed, the small signs became impossible to ignore. His phone was always face down, notifications silenced, and late night calls, once innocent excuses, now seemed suspicious. Every time he came home, his energy felt different. A subtle tension in the way he moved, the way he smiled. At first, I tried convincing myself that I was overthinking, that maybe the stress of work or life was affecting him. But deep down, a voice whispered, "You know something is wrong." And that voice was never wrong. One evening, as he casually left his phone on the counter, I caught a glimpse of a name that repeated itself in his messages. Someone I had never heard of before. My heart tightened, but I didn't panic. Instead, I chose to stay calm. I reminded myself that patience was my weapon, and that reacting too soon would only give him an advantage. I watched him carefully, observing his habits, noting the patterns in his behavior. Every small lie, every hurried excuse, every innocent laugh he thought I hadn't noticed became another piece of the puzzle. I was assembling in my mind. I continued our daily routines as usual, keeping up the appearance of normalcy. I cooked meals, laughed at his jokes, shared conversations, but all the while, my mind was calculating, analyzing, and strategizing. I imagined how I would expose the truth when the time was right, ensuring that every step was precise and deliberate. The tension grew inside me, a mix of sadness, anger, and determination, but I refused to let it show. My calmness became a mask, and beneath it, my awareness sharpened like a knife. Then came another subtle shock. One night, as he scrolled through his phone, a smile flickered across his face, light, casual, completely unaware of my observation. That smile, which once would have seemed normal, now revealed everything. I didn't react. I didn't confront. I only took mental notes. Every action he took, every hidden glance at his phone, every unexplained delay was recorded in my memory. I became the silent observer, the shadow in our home, quietly piecing together the reality of the life he was leading behind my back. With every passing day, the emotional tension grew heavier. I could feel it in the pit of my stomach, a constant knot of suspicion, hurt, and cautious determination. And yet the outside world saw nothing. Friends continued to praise our marriage, unaware of the storm building in the quiet corners of our home. I realized that the real power lay not in confrontation, but in control, calmly watching as the truth slowly unfolded, preparing for the moment when the deception would finally be undeniable. That realization was liberating. I understood that betrayal doesn't always demand a reaction. Sometimes it demands observation, patience, and careful planning. Then came the night that changed everything. I didn't expect a confrontation. I didn't plan for a fight. But fate, or perhaps karma, chose that evening to reveal the first undeniable piece of evidence. He left his phone on the table, screen glowing faintly in the dim light. A single notification popped up, a message from the unknown name that had haunted my observations for weeks. I froze for a moment, heart racing, mind screaming for action, yet my body remained still. I leaned closer and saw the words that shattered the quiet world. I thought I knew, affectionate, casual, familiar, proof of something deeper than mere curiosity. Shock should have sent me into tears, into a rage, but it didn't. I felt a cold clarity instead. Anger simmered beneath the surface, but I controlled it. I had learned in the previous weeks that a reaction is fleeting, and patience is permanent. I studied the message, memorized its tone, timing, and context. Every line became a clue, a thread connecting the tapestry of deception that had been weaving itself silently around me. For 10 years, I had believed in this man, and now I realized that the foundation I had trusted so completely was crumbling quietly, piece by piece. I spent the rest of the night awake, my mind racing yet calm. I thought about how he had grown careless, confident in his ability to hide the truth. He underestimated me. He assumed my silence meant ignorance. But I knew everything. Every small inconsistency, every secret smile, every whispered conversation that went unnoticed, these were my arsenal. I replayed moments from the past months, connecting the dots, noticing how each innocent excuse had been a lie, each casual touch a misdirection. The betrayal was not loud. It was meticulous, methodical, and deliberate. The emotional weight of the discovery hit me slowly. It wasn't the shock that broke me. It was the accumulation of months of deceit, the realization that someone I loved and trusted had created a hidden life right beside me. Yet amidst the hurt, I felt a strange sense of empowerment. This was my moment of clarity. He had shown his true colors, and now I could plan my response carefully. I didn't need dramatic confrontation. I didn't need to yell, to fight, or to beg for explanations. The power lay in calm observation and strategic patience. Over the following days, I watched him more closely than ever. I observed his routines, his casual glances at his phone, his subtle adjustments in behavior. Every moment became evidence. Every detail, a thread in the web of truth I was weaving silently in my mind. I understood now that betrayal's power is not in what the betrayer does. It is in what they underestimate. And I would become the quiet force they never saw coming. The moment I had been preparing for finally arrived, and when it did, I was ready. Calm, controlled, and unshaken. I had gathered enough proof, enough patterns, enough truth to confront him without raising my voice. That evening, when he walked into the house with his usual casual smile, I looked at him differently, not with love, not with anger, but with clarity. The kind of clarity that comes after your heart has already healed itself from the worst pain. I asked him to sit down. My voice was steady. My hands did not shake. I placed the phone on the table between us and slowly slid it toward him. "I know everything," I said quietly. His smile disappeared. His confidence collapsed. His eyes searched for excuses that no longer existed. He tried to speak, but the words failed him. The lies he had practiced for months suddenly had no power. In that silence, I felt something shift inside me. The fear was gone. The pain was fading. All that remained was strength. He tried to explain. He tried to justify. But betrayal has no explanation that makes sense. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I simply stood up and said, "You broke what we built, and I will not carry your guilt." That was my revenge. Not shouting, not destroying, but walking away with my dignity intact. I chose myself over his deception. That night, I packed my bags. I left behind the life I once believed in and stepped into a future built on self-respect. The house that once felt like home now felt like a chapter that had ended. I didn't look back, because some doors are meant to close forever. And today, when I look at myself in the mirror, I see a woman who survived betrayal and came out stronger. I learned that love should never cost you your peace. Trust should never be blind. And silence is sometimes the most powerful answer. Because when someone shows you who they truly are, believe them. And never be afraid to walk away from what no longer honors your heart.